Hello everyone and welcome to The Steaming Toad, the show that puts you next to the stove with a large web-footed one in the pot on the simmer. Now recently the Archbishop of Sydney, George Pell, was out and about suggesting that people who stressed about climate change and in fact voted Green were indulging in a pagan ritual. Today on The Toad, I'm joined by the Professor of Devil Worship at Christchurch University, Professor Amanda Keller. Professor Keller, Pagan Rituals. Can you give us a couple of examples?
Well, first of all, of course, at the University of Christchurch, we call them Pagan Rituals. But yes, I can give you a few examples. Melbourne Cup.
Oh, yes.
Boxing Day Test, one of my favourites. And of course, Christmas Day. And I wish that Archbishop Pell would take these ones on.
Yes.
I don't know if he'd like to have a swing at Christmas Day, but I think he should, because really this is the most pagan of all the rituals that we have. It actually began as a celebration of the winter solstice. You remember, you were probably there back then. It was called Saturnalia. I still remember the outfit you used to wear.
It was exciting, wasn't it?
It was.
Yes.
There's cloven hooves you had,
yes,
very
yes.
nice.
The horns.
The big horns. I don't know how we got from that to it being a Christmas piss-up and a family fight, but I think the journey's been very interesting.
I've always liked Easter myself because this was at the time of the equinox, roughly, equal day, equal night. And it was all to do with about, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, about, you know, obviously rebirth, regrowth, all those sort of things. And I love the two great things was hot cross buns. How'd the bun get in there? I could understand the cross, but the bun always baffled me. And then, of course, after you eaten far too many buns, you only had to wait another night, another night and a half, and all of a sudden Sunday morning you wake up and the Easter rabbit has laid, I use that word advisably, laid, I always thought he laid a lot of eggs.
Does he lay them?
He
Have
laid
they come
them.
out of his bum?
They came out.
Would you eat something brown that came out of a rabbit's bum?
I think we're still doing it and we're loving it. And I would just like to say, before we go on and set the scene here, obviously Ralph from Ralph Vision, the technical people here at the Steaming Toad do tremendous work, and Ralph has captured George Pell out and about outside the church laying on the word. Here's George in action. He's wagging the finger at the parishioners and suggesting that they shouldn't be doing anything but the right thing and thinking about how flat the earth is. The voter goes to vote Green. Watch what happens. The worst thing happens. It's hell in there, fire in the hole, and then an eternity spent traipsing around the pentangle of doom with hoods on, horns growing, tails with, tridents on the back of them looming out. It's a terrible, terrible fate. Now...
And all I got was a sausage sizzle when I went to vote. Outrageous.
Well, you were dudded. Devil worship at your university, Professor, is it on the increase? Are people signing up for the courses?
Very much so, and particularly with Generation Y, and I'm pleased to see that it spans the ages, because who doesn't like dressing up maybe in the head of a goat and maybe warming a marshmallow on the body of an old burning witch? I think it appeals to everybody.
That's exciting when you put it like that, isn't it? I'd never thought of sticking my head inside the head of a goat. Now, does climate, an interest in climate change and climate issues, mean that you're going to hell?
Well, if hell is listening to Archbishop George Pell, then I think yes. I didn't actually equate democracy with the end of Christianity, but I am thinking of getting rid of my recycling bin, because I think any interest in the environment whatsoever is a very dangerous thing.
That's beautifully put, Professor. Now, in the future, is there a chance, though, looking at it the other way, forgetting the Pell position for a minute, that this environment could become hotter than hell and hell become an attractive place to hang about in?
Well, the thing is that I think that people like George Pell are going to be looking for somewhere large, roomy and calm to go to. For example, like a church. But with all our tsunamis and all our fires and all our floods, all the churches have gone, and all I can say is God must really hate us.
Originally, George, no stranger to the climate debate, suggested that it'd be great if everybody, in the future, that everybody could go and live in Tasmania. Unfortunately, forgot to add that by the time that Tasmania became attractive to people now living, say, in Sydney or, Dubbo or Orange, of course, Queensland would be virtually uninhabitable and hotter than the far side of the planet Coosbane. Are you hoping the Pell position comes right with regard to Tasmania, or do you think Tasmania doesn't have a lot to offer?
I'm concerned about the apples.
Yeah.
Would a hotter climate make them bigger or smaller, tastier or drier? I don't know. Until my institute has done further work on that, I have nothing to say.
Some people say that living in Tasmania would be like living in hell. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
Terrible place.
That's it for the Toad this time. Join us again when we put the pot on.